Most strength coaches build training week to week. They look at what sport has going on, they throw together a lift, then they repeat that same process 52 times a year and call it programming. The problem is not a program that's just organized from chaos, it's with good intentions. If they got into the end of the season and realized their athletes didn't actually get better, this is probably why. Today, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to organize a full year of training. Not week to week, not month to month, the entire year mapped out, layered, and built so that every decision you make has a reason behind it. This is the L3 system. And once you understand how it works, you will never build a training plan the same way again. Before I break this down, I want you to understand what the actual problem is. The reason most coaches struggle with yearly planning isn't because they don't work hard enough. It is because they're trying to plan lifting first. They sit down in August with a blank program sheet and they start writing sets and reps before they even know what the sport is, demanding that for that month. That's backwards. You're solving the wrong problem first. The L3 system flips that. It gives you a clear order of operations so that every layer of training supports the one above it instead of competing with it. Here's how it works. L3 stands for 3 layers. Layer 1 is skill. Layer 2 is physical. Layer 3 is cardiovascular. And you always build in that order, top to bottom. Layer 1 goes first because skill is the primary output of athletic development. If you don't know what's happening in layer 1, it is impossible and you cannot responsibly build layer 2 and layer 3. It's that simple. So let's start at layer 1. Before you write a single lift or conditioning session, you need to know what the sport practice schedule looks like in games. You need to know how often athletes are practicing, what the intensity of those practices is, and what part of the season they're in. Is it preseason, off-season, in-season, transition? You label each skill session as high, medium, low, or off. That's it. High means max output at practice, lots of volume, physically demanding. Medium is moderate. Light is technical work, walkthrough. Low demand. Off is exactly what it sounds like. They're not training that day or practicing. Once you have that label across the week, you have a physical demand map that tells you how much room you have to add lifting and conditioning. Layer 1 is the anchor. Everything else gets layered around it. Layer 2 is physical. You're lifting. And here's where most coaches overcomplicate things. The only question you need to answer when it's assigning a lifting day is, what is the appropriate stress level for this given day based off of layer 1? I have a lifting stress hierarchy that I use for this. Output carries the highest stress. That's your heavy, low rep, max force work. Hybrid days are next. Maintain high force over time with moderate loads, higher volume. Then durability day, lighter load, positional, longer duration, lower stress. After that, you have high velocity awareness, low velocity awareness, and mobility at the bottom. The rule is simple. If layer 1 is high on a given day, you're going to run an output day on that day. That's how athletes, we condense all the high intensity work into one day, which allows better recovery time over time. You want to match the same one with things. If there's high practice day, high lift day gives them time to recover. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is they're going to have high days almost every week. Layer 3 is cardiovascular. The same thing applies. If it's a high day for skill, high day for strength, it needs to be a high day for cardiovascular. Put all the work into one day to allow them to have the biggest amount of recovery time afterwards. When we look at cardiovascular, we have anaerobic and aerobic. We have short duration sprints, long duration lactic acid threshold. Then we have real conditioning. When we think about this, we have to be able to build on short duration, specifically for sports that are going to be more sprint-based. think about this from a cardiovascular standpoint. If we play the same game, I have run 20 miles an hour, you run 18. We both play the same amount of time in the game. You're fatigued, I'm going to get fatigued. My 50%, my 90% is your 100%, and you're at 80. Now I'm still better than you at the end of the day. The thing I use is the FYOP, or Full Optimization Plan. It's a zoomed out calendar, not a week to week or by month to month, but every single day I have the sessions trained out. I also have a session code that allows you to easily find the specifics of that thing. So when we think about this, it should be an easy snapshot. A full year optimization plan is a simple and easy 2 spreadsheet Google sheet that allows you to understand exactly what the athlete is doing on that day. You could hand this to the sport coach. You could hand this to an athlete and allow them to easily see where they're at. This is between the difference between a coach who reacts and a coach who leads. Reactive coaches figure it out on Monday. Coaches with a full year optimization plan already knows November what it looks like in August. That's advantage. The last piece is the if-then lifting model. And this is what makes the system adaptable without losing structure. Here's the reality. Schedules change. Sports coaches move games. Tournaments get added. Practice gets canceled. If your program can't be flexible, it breaks. The if-then model gives you pre-built decisions, rules so that when something changes, you already know what to do. If an athlete has a high demand competition on Friday, then we're going to put an output lift on Monday. If practice gets canceled on Wednesday, then it becomes your hybrid training day. If an athlete misses a session, then you pick up at the next appropriate layer based on what their body has already handled that week. These aren't decisions you're making in the moment. You've already made them. They're built into the system before the season even starts. That's what separates a training system from a training guess. Let me bring this together and make it practical for you. If you are a new strength coach trying to figure out how to actually organize your year, here's where you start. Step 1, get layer 1 on paper. Talk to your sport coaches. Get the schedule and label every week of the year by skill intensity. High, medium, low, off. Do that first before you touch the weight room calendar. Step 2, build layer 2. Plan around layer 1. Use the stretch hierarchy to assign your lifting day types so that they complement what the skill work is doing. Step 3, layer in conditioning with using the same logic. Assign your energy zone work based off of what's left in the tank after layers 1 and 2. Step 4, build your full year optimization plan. Step back, look at the year, and assign a primary phase to each month so you know where you're going before you ever get there. Step 5, write your if-then rules. Before the season starts, document the 5 to 10 most likely schedule disruptions and write a clear response for each one. Now your system has flexibility built in without ever losing structure. The L3 system isn't complicated. 3 layers, 1 order of operations, 1 yearly map, and a set of decision rules that let you pivot without losing your program. This is what it looks like to stop winging it and start building something that actually holds together across all 12 months. If you want the full breakdown of how this system works inside my book, The Athlete Buy-In System, the link is below. It's chapter 14, and there's a lot more in depth in there, including how to connect this to your daily stress calculations and your assessment calendar. Go check it out. And remember, systems drive success.